Well, that would explain why I'm losing air in the tire. We've got ourselves a nail. Looks like I've got to do a plug today. Fun stuff. Let's get out the kit. Well, near as I can tell, it's holding, but only time will tell. Thankfully, I have the pressure system on the tires, so I'll be able to see if it's dropping while I'm riding. Let's ride on it for a little while and see what happens. Just don't want to see it going down, and right now it's holding. Man, that whole process took me 40 minutes, not even, like 30. It just goes to show how much more efficient tubeless tires are. Of course, now I'm riding a little more anxious because you just never know, you know, with a patch tire. I'm sure it's fine. Alrighty, well, another interesting start to our morning here on day 5, our halfway day, as I like to think of it. Got in last night at a somewhat late hour, but still early enough where I was feeling good. And as I was adjusting the chain on my bike, I noticed randomly a nail in the back tire, which of course would explain why I had to top off my air a couple days ago. You know, I just assumed there was a microscopic leak at the valve stem or something, but nope, had a nail. So debated this morning on what to do, but I said, you know what? They're tubeless tires. I've got a patch kit on me with all the stuff I need. Let's patch it. It's safer to patch it than it is to continue to ride with the nail, even though the nail was sort of self-patching. So I spent the 40 minutes, reaming it out, put in a plug, and I'm riding now, and let's see, I am 17 miles into the ride, and tire pressure is holding. So I think we just did our first successful ever tubeless tire patch. That's pretty exciting. I just had an amazing thought just now that has me incredibly smiley and happy. We get an hour back today. We go back into Central Time Zone. Yes, I just gained a free hour on the day. That is splendid. I'm so stoked right now. So an interesting story about this stretch of highway we're on right now. This is I-90 between Buffalo and the Pennsylvania border along Lake Erie. This ride I've probably done more than any other stretch on any US interstate system. When I was in college for 4 years, I made this drive very regularly back and forth between Cleveland and Rochester. So I know every inch of this 250-mile stretch between the two cities like the back of my hand. I know like every exit sign, every service station. I know it so well, and so it doesn't feel long to me. It feels very familiar, and it's making the miles go by very fast. And so as kind of an homage to those years and my days in college as an undergrad, I'm gonna stop at a coffee shop on the college campus that I used to attend. It's still there. 30 years later, the coffee shop still exists. It's still on the north campus of my university, right by my old dorm, which, by the way, my dorm still exists. Everything is still just like it was 30 years ago. And so I decided to take the 2-mile detour off the highway into campus, toast a latte or something to the good old days of when I used to go to that coffee shop every day after class to work on my homework, before laptops, before Wi-Fi, before cell phones, all of that. So it was, I'd go to the coffee shop, bust out my notebook and work on my homework by hand. So we're going to go there. And the university, by the way, is Case Western Reserve University. It's a science and engineering focused college in Cleveland, Ohio. We are entering into the tiny little part of Pennsylvania that sticks up to Lake Erie. It's only about 35-40 miles across the whole strip. And of course we'll stop in Erie to fill up, get a receipt, and it'll be our first new state since, I don't know, midday yesterday or whatever. I'm just excited to be back in Pennsylvania. Here's the sign right up here. Welcome to Pennsyvlania. Hey, ooh, that's a new sign. Look at that, fancy. So Pennsylvania is also a place that I called home for a very long time. I lived in central Pennsylvania for 7 years while I was in graduate school in State College. This is the name of the town. And I went to school at Penn State. So Pennsylvania is my adopted second home. All right, well, we just secured our Pennsylvania receipt. A nice fuel up here in the little northern peninsula of Pennsylvania near the city of Erie. And now we're going to push all the way on into Cleveland, where we'll stop at Case Western for a little nostalgia. That room right up there with the air conditioner is where I used to do all my homework. It's a bit surreal being back, honestly. And I just went inside and it was like walking into a time machine, because it looks exactly the same as I remember it. It just has been stuck in time for 30 years. Very cool. So while I'm over here getting gas, I wanted to turn down this road because this is where I used to live when I lived in Cleveland. And I'm curious to see what my old house looks like. A recent picture of it on Google Street View looked like it was in tatters. Like it was sold to somebody who didn't take care of it, and it's in complete disrepair now, which is really sad. Oh man, it's all overgrown. It's this last house here. Look at that, completely screwed. It's all boarded up. Oh my God, look at the garage falling in on itself. Wow. That's really sad. God, I lived in that house for 8 years and it's completely in shambles now. Bummer. The last time I was in that house was 2007. So it's been almost 20 years. But man, the amount of damage in 20 years is pretty intense. Alrighty, Future John here. The wind protection fell off of my microphone for the remainder of the day, so I wasn't able to capture any good riding audio. So in this clip, I'm entering my 29th state, the state of Indiana. As you can see, I'm getting off of the toll road here and immediately entering into my 30th state as I do a small spur up into the town of Sturgis, Michigan, before heading back into Indiana for the remainder of the afternoon. Let's get on this side. It's a little easier. So as I left Jimmy John's there and entered back into Indiana, I still had about 100 miles remaining on Interstate 90 before reaching the Illinois border, my 31st state. Now, as soon as I crossed into Illinois and reached the greater Chicago area, I started running into all sorts of traffic congestion because it was both a Saturday, but also a World Cup match day. So as you can see in this clip here, I'm starting to get into some of the slowdowns, but I did not keep the camera running through the worst of it, as my anxiety level was just too high. Well, 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 we've made it to our hotel room here, and it's still light out at the end of day 5, which means I'm going to try to get to bed here really soon so I can get a full night's sleep. But the short summary of the day is we're halfway through this thing, baby. This is the end of day 5, which means we got 5 more days. We're on the back half of this thing. Today was all interstate the entire day for the most part. Just a couple of little side trips. I went to visit my old alma mater in Cleveland really briefly. Had some snacks at my old coffee house there. Zipped by my old house in Cleveland, and it's ramshackle. It's like falling apart. So I don't know what the story there is. But then we were basically just on the road all day, and we were smooth sailing, baby, until we got to Chicago. And it's a Saturday during the World Cup. It was just a mess. We got through it. We lost about an hour, but we're here now. Good spirits. Tomorrow we finally kind of get back into the countryside, away from all the big cities. We'll be traversing Iowa, and I've kind of forgotten. I think we dip into Nebraska, and then we go up and maybe dip into Minnesota, and then go over into South Dakota, I think. And somewhere in there is Wisconsin too. So we've got our work cut out for us tomorrow, which means I'm going to get up early. But I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm excited to end the day in central South Dakota as opposed to like urban Chicago. Yeah, it's all just an amazing experience so far. It's a lot of riding. It's basically sun up, sundown riding. I mean, there's very little time for sightseeing if you want to try to do something like this. It's just because you have to budget. You know, you look at Google Maps and it says it'll take 14 hours or whatever, but that's not true because you got to budget for fuel stops, you got to budget for food stops, you got to budget for at least 3 unknowns that are going to happen every day, whether it's plugging a tire or going back to retrieve something you left in a hotel or on the side of the road in my case, or just something, traffic, a road closure due to something or other, World Cups, you know, you name it, there's always something. So you've got to budget that time in, and I guarantee that you're gonna have a day out of the 10 where like you roll into your hotel at like 2 in the morning. Case in point, my day 3, I got to my motel on the Rhode Island, Massachusetts border at 2:20 a.m. Thankfully, they did not resell it, and I still had a room. But yeah, I only got like 3 hours of sleep that night. So, no, it was more like 4. But anyway, so far so good. I did have to plug that tire today, but it's holding. It seems to be doing just fine. I mean, that's the beauty of tubeless tires. I haven't looked at the mileage tomorrow or how much we have left, but 5 days times 750 is what, 3,800-ish, 3,750, something like that. So we've got under 4,000, about 4,000 miles left, and we've got over 5,000 on the bike. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you at the end of day 6. Bye. Wow, look at this river crossing. I forget, I think this is the Platte River, or is it the Snake River? Oh man, I feel like I should know this.